Trailblazers is finally here, and I just bought over 1 million coins of the exact same card in preparation. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to buy to make coins this weekend. Welcome to Trading to Glory. If you're looking for cheap and safe EAFC 24 coins, look no further than u4gm.com and use my code ELYT, ELYYT, for 5% off at checkout. Yesterday's division rivals flips went absolutely awesome. We're going to go ahead and clear those off the transfer list. And what you'll notice on my transfer list now is we have a bunch of fodder cards. And so the big question today, with the new player of the month Sun, the new player of the month layout, Trailblazers Rodrigo, Trailblazers Declan Rice, we've got an 87 max hero upgrade on the way. That's so many SBCs that people could potentially go out and do that are going to be above the level of SBCs that we've seen so far this year, whereas we've had some usable players, and David Beckham's kind of nice, but most of these cards have been pretty mid. But investing in fodder does come with a little bit of risk now that these cards have risen a bit in the last couple of days because there's so much investing going on in those. 43% of my followers on Twitter have invested in fodder. Now, of course, that might not be 44% of the entire community because most of my followers are trying to make coins, so they might be more likely to be invested in fodder, but there is a potential over investment in fodder, which means that today at content, when we do have a lot of people open up their saved packs, maybe they have saved their packs from marquee matchups or division rival rewards or possibly from FUT Champs qualifiers, and everybody who's opening FIFA points are going to add supply to the market. But on top of that, you're going to see a lot of people who are selling off their investments at the same time. So the question isn't about if fodder is going to be in demand. It is. Will it outweigh the supply is the question. But there are some perks to this, and the fact that normally the squad building challenges for player of the month cards like Leao and Sun, who are expecting to drop hopefully today, those normally come out before content release, maybe shortly after this video goes up. So shout out to the notification squad. You might be getting in a little bit of an advantage today. This card came out at like 8 or 9 a.m. Eastern, which is about 5 hours before content release. So you have a few hours where fodder cards could rise before we get to content release that you could potentially sell. The only thing about it is normally when we do get a big max hero upgrade or something along those lines, that's what actually pushes fodder up more than anything in the game, because everybody loves a gamble SBC. You want to try to hit the jackpot. You want to get Ramirez or Yaya Toure, and most people won't, but you'll try. And so there's so many people that'll go out and buy those cards for the max hero upgrade. So even if these fodder cards don't end up rising today, or you don't want to take your profit beforehand, you could actually wait until Monday, which is when I expect that SBC to drop, and make some profit then. Sun's inform just crashed down to 450,000 coins because his new SBC did just drop 7 hours before content release, so we expected that. It's actually a little earlier than I expected. 700,000 coins is about what it's coming in at. 64% upvote so far, though. So we've got a high-value SBC right here. I'm not saying it's super cheap and valuable, but the community seems to like it in comparison to the David Beckham SBC that only got 18% upvotes. That's the only other big SBC player that we've gotten so far this year. So this should stabilize the market. I'm not saying that cards are going to fly up just because of Heung-min Son, maybe some inform cards because he does need an inform for the first two squads. So those cards could maybe do decently well, but it's going to at least keep the fodder up. And then when we get hit with more and more waves of demand with Rodrigo's SBC, Leao 87 plus or 87 max hero upgrade, Declan Rice maybe good value, then we're going to start seeing these gradually go up in price. If you're currently invested in meta gold cards, I'd suggest against it. Maybe get out as soon as possible, because what we see at content release on Fridays is normally a pretty big drop in price that doesn't recover until the end of the weekend. If you want to invest in your gold metas, cards that you'll use in weekend league, you don't want to be buying those cards on Wednesday or Thursday. You want to wait until the weekend starts, when some people have already started playing weekend league, and then they start opening their packs. Everybody from the promos opening their packs for the new Trailblazers, and then you can get in on some of these cards probably Saturday morning, play your games on Saturday and Sunday, and then sell those cards on Monday or Tuesday. You'll make coins on your cards instead of losing on your cards, and you can still play your weekend league games if you are somebody who wants to do that. These cards that we saw in Team of the Week number 3, like Ollie Watkins, hit a low point even earlier than the gold cards hit a low point. So if you're going to make your investments, maybe go with Informs first. They hit a low point, it looks like Saturday morning, late Friday night, Saturday morning. That was when they hit their bottom point. Of course, there was a huge market crash last week, but I'm expecting somewhere similar in that range where we're going to see a low point on the Inform market. And those cards steadily rise throughout Sunday and then Monday and hit a peak on Tuesday morning. You guys can use some of these cards to make coins. Valverde, for the high budget guys, is going to be a card that you can definitely make some coins on. You're looking at Raheem Sterling for some medium budget guys, along with Coman. Where's Coman? But they're not done dropping, so don't buy yet. But later tonight on Friday, early tomorrow morning on Saturday, this is probably where I'm going to put a lot of my coins. Then, of course, RTTK team number 2. Prices are looking spectacular. I would pick up Modric 212, Lewandowski 379, and I've actually lost coins on these cards over the last 48 hours. I tried picking up Lewandowski way too early. He spiked to like 410. I sold, lost on tax like 25K. Tried to flip a Modric, lost another 9K. So guys, do not get discouraged if you ever lose coins on cards. I lose coins on cards as well. You just got to get back into the game. Trust yourself, be confident, and learn from your mistakes. And so you're looking at some great value cards on RTTK team number 2. Modric also gets that link to Rodrigo's SBC, which should be coming out pretty soon. And so that complement link, along with the fact that these cards go out of packs today, finally, and then you also have this card as a dynamic that's probably going to get to 93 rated inevitably, as Real Madrid are going to probably win their next game. They're going to get their second win, and they're going to get out of their group. So considering all of that, Modric is a great investment, about 212. Lewandowski at 379. I'm really liking both of those. Aouar for the low budgets. If you still have Aouar, and a lot of you do, just hold. That's a card that will steadily rise. I'm not saying it's going to be 20K by the end of the weekend, but as we get closer to Roma's next match in the UCL, that's a card that could get hyped up a good amount. Now, if you look at last week's team, like Kalulu as example, his card, of course, dropped after that match where Milan drew against Dortmund. He hit a low point of about 125,000 coins on that Thursday, and he was still pretty low by Friday morning, which is where we are at right now. That's where we are right now. And these cards spiked up a ton at content release on Friday as they went out of packs, and they kind of steadily rose throughout the weekend until they peaked on Monday. Now they're settling down, they're kind of plateauing because we've still got some time to wait till their next UCL match, but we could expect that similar rise to happen with a lot of the cards in RTTK too. And I'll throw in Capier into the mix as well, because he's a card that'll go from 83 to 85 on his first upgrade. Bayer Leverkusen are flying in Bundesliga, probably going to win their next game to get him that upgrade and get out of the group. He'd be 86 rated. So that card is really, really good in my opinion. And then you've also got a player from team number 1, Kylian Sildilia. This card, pretty much the exact same concept. He's going to go from 83 to 85 on his first upgrade, and he's only 13,000 coins, a French center back from Bundesliga, great links, and it's a card that we've already seen sell at 21,000 coins. I'm not saying, again, he's going to go to 21K by the end of the weekend, but long term, it's a safe investment that will get hyped up more as we get closer to Freiburg's next game. Trailblazers is also here today, team number 1, and a lot of people have saved packs for this, which means that there's going to be a lot of undercutting on cards in those first few minutes, which gives us 2 opportunities to flip these cards throughout the night. Now, you can flip lower budget or higher budget cards, and I'll show you that here in a second. But if we look back at the last week's team, which is Road to the Knockouts, I made over 300,000 coins on Sissoko in about 30 minutes after release of these cards, because he was just a little bit too low as people opened their packs, and then he spiked back up. Now, it's obviously risky at times because you have to get in at the right time, sell at the right time, but if you get in on both of them, you can make a ton of coins, or you can get in at the safe time, and I'll show you exactly what that safe time is. So as you can see, you got João Pedro, who dropped down to 314K, spiked up to 350. Now, of course, if you don't time that one correctly, it can be absolutely devastating, because look as he comes down for the next few hours all the way down to 262K. But as you get to about 8 or 9 hours after the release of the promo, you can see he hits a low point at 260K, spikes back up to 290. and even into the morning, he gets up to 313K. But that spike from 260 to 290K is very consistent, and you can make some easy coins every single week. Robert Lewandowski did the exact same thing, and we actually made coins on Lewandowski last week where we bought his card at about 418,000 coins and then sold him for 527,000 coins, which is exactly what we did last week. That's the card that we used on this flip, and it's pretty consistent through the medium and high budget cards. The lower budget cards will do the same thing, but you're not looking at a higher percentage of profit because the lower budget cards are easier to pack, and a big reason that these cards rise so much in the night is because they're high rated, brand new, and meta, and so those cards have some demand, but the supply kind of cuts out pretty early, and so after the supply's done, everybody's opened their packs, they rise nicely into the night after Europe goes to sleep. Let's shoot for 700 likes on today's video, and if you made it to the end, comment Trailblazers hype down below in the comment section. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter for those live trading updates and subscribe here, of course. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.